Hi, I'm Maxxie. Welcome to a new episode of Fitness Kitchen. I think whoever tried to do some meal prep would know that it's very hard to store your fresh veggies. If you cut them and wash them, they spoil faster. So usually you can't do much meal prep to your veggies. You have to buy fresh veggies and prepare them every time you cook. But that is a lot of trouble, right? If you are a busy student or busy worker, doesn't seem like you have much time to do that. I guess that's why some people just skip eating veggies. Okay, in this episode, I'm gonna share a method I sometimes use to sort of do some meal prep to my veggies and make it possible to keep them fresh for a longer time. So if you happen to live in a place where it's not that convenient to buy fresh veggies, or you are really that busy, this episode is for you. But actually, after finish editing this video, I realized it may not be that useful for my English channel viewers, since it's so convenient to buy fresh and clean veggies here, and these veggies take less effort to wash. It's not like back home in China. At least it's convenient here in London. But anyway, I filmed this episode the same time I filmed for my Chinese channel, so it's here anyway. And if you happen to need it, I hope it can help you. So let's get started. First, let's check out the veggies I prepared for this video. When I say veggies in my video, I usually only mean two types of vegetables. The first is the green leaves, or usually green, or should we call them leafy veggies? Oh, and some stem veggies like asparagus. They pretty much serve the same purpose as leafy veggies. And the second type is mushrooms. If you have watched my previous video about what kinds of veggies really help with your physique, you'll know why I only talk about these kinds of veggies. The procedure is quite simple. Basically, we wash them, then cut them, then process them. Do not cut your veggies before you wash them, because that will make it easier for water to get inside these veggies and they will spoil faster. So it's wash, then cut, then process. Okay, now you can see I have this batch of kale here, washed and cut. What I will do is to put them into the drawer of an air fryer. Don't pile too much into it at one time because that would block the hot air. What we need to do is to take turns processing these veggies in small batches. Okay, now get them into the air fryer, set the temperature to 80 degrees Celsius and let it blow like this for 5 minutes. What we are doing here is to process the veggies with a hot air below the temperature of the boiling point of water, so that we can make these veggies dry really fast but without cooking them. Then 5 minutes later, if everything goes well, your veggies should look like this. There will be no water on the surface, and some leaves even got a little bit crispy because they themselves got a little bit drier. And now you put them in a big pan to let the moisture evaporate, and at the same time you can use your air fryer to process the next batch. Meanwhile, let's make a storer for it here. This is a middle-sized sealable food bag. We fold it twice like this, and then it becomes a little bucket which can stand on the table. Then, after the first batch completely cooled down, we can store them here. The reason why we need to wait for them to cool down is because we don't want the warm moisture to evaporate inside this bag, because that would result in water drops to form inside this bag and make your veggies spoil. And this is how you process these veggies. Now you can store them like this in your fridge. For mushrooms, the process is a little bit different because they cannot be touched by water at all. But lucky us, we don't really need to wash the mushrooms when we use them. You just need to wipe away the dust on the surface. So, we are not gonna wash these mushrooms, we just wipe away the dust and cut them and store them like this. But of course, if the mushrooms you bought are those with a little bit dirt at the bottom, you need to cut off those parts at first. But anyway, mushrooms are stored like this, very simple. And when you use them, you don't really need to do anything. If you are worried, just wash them under tap water before cooking. And if you are still worried after that, squeeze the water out. Now here you can see the veggies I'm storing in my fridge. All of them are stored like this without closing the bags. One reason for this is to allow the remaining moisture to continue evaporating, And the other is veggies need to breathe to stay fresh, so we are not closing them in sealed bags. Okay, I have to admit, it's still a lot of effort and it takes quite some time. But fortunately, most of the time you spend in this process is waiting, so you can integrate it into your other meal prep works, like preparing meal prep packs, like I did in some other videos. But anyway, the disclaimer here is you may find it's easier to just buy and cut and wash your veggies every time you cook separately. In fact, that's what I do now because I realized it's easier this way in London. And there is a second disclaimer, and that is, after you do this meal prep to your veggies, they will inevitably lose some of their freshness because you dried them a little. And after storing for so many days, I don't recommend you eat them raw, so you can't use them in salad. This is just for your pan cooking meals. So, if you happen to need this method, it is here. If you don't, I made this video anyway, because I promised. So what I do now instead is just rip open the package of these veggies and store them like this in my fridge. No pre-wash, no pre-cut, no pre-drying. I just cut and wash them every time I cook. Okay, that's all of today's video. If you like it and find it useful, please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I share my fitness progress and other things in my life. Thank you all for watching and happy cooking. Take care.